be a reconfiguration? Does it make sense to do it all right now, or is there part of it that could be interrupted
I see what
if we
you're
do
saying.
something in
If
a
we have to
year or
knock
two?
down a big wall or put in a threshold.
Right, is it,
Or just reconfigure the library itself after you put new carpeting in.
so is it worth doing it now, but if there's a risk that we're gonna have to rip some of it up again to reconfigure, is it worth,
It's 30-year-old carpet, and I
It's-
heard you,
it's-
you know.
it's
offline.
30-year-old carpet.
Yeah, so
It's-
it's really showing some signs, and there's certainly a trip
Definitely.
and fall liability
I
there.
don't see this reconfiguration happening for.
It might be 5 years
Yeah, I'm
before
not-
we're even
I don't think-
talking about that.
And if you put the squares down, it's less of an impact.
Well, then that's easy, right?
Right.
Then that should be considered
We don't-
when they do it.
If we don't roll carpet, but put the squares in, right?
That's what we have in this room,
Yep.
when we did the carpeting.
You
we
wouldn't
put the
even
squares in.
know it.
You don't
Yeah.
even know,
These
yeah.
are
Yes.
squares?
Yes.
Pardon?
These are squares?
Yes.
Maybe
You
not
look
this.
high
I don't think
close,
over
you can
here.
see it, but it does.
This is probably
different.
30-year-old carpet, so this probably.
the way to go.
Yeah.
No,
Squares are-
it doesn't.
I didn't think so.
It doesn't. It's-
That was my only question.
Yeah, I know.
I'm glad we're going to.
I think we need to do it.
And okay, so that was my question. If we don't think it's gonna impact I'm glad we're gonna fully fund the books, and purchases of the library. It's long overdue, so. That's all.
I hope to keep that budget intact. They kind of have been squeezed for a little bit now.
They're good
and,
stewards of their money.
Yeah.
As far as
That's a
I.
good move.
But it's, but it's also a budget that sits out there that, if I get from the Board of Finance, go find us $100,000, it's very vulnerable, sitting out there. I can't do much about wages, I can't do much about
Mhm.
gasoline and rock salt, but it's sitting out there. And that's what's happened in the last 4 or 5 years, straight. So, Is it-
Can I just make
Yes, ma'am.
one request? So in Department 224, which is the fire marshal's budget, they're asking one of their accounts to be used for purchasing, they want to call it the town AED fund, and it's for those defibrillator packets that we have here. And so it really should be moved to CNRE because the plan is they don't want to use it unless we need it. A year or so ago, we were in a position where we had to purchase new ones, and it was a challenge to get the funds in order to do that. So what they're suggesting here, so if we put it in the general fund, it's not really going to serve its purpose. So my recommendation would be to zero out the request in that account and then to increase the CNRE account in Department 724.
there's some things in CNRE, do we have to reappropriate it out?
Well, how we have been handling that is, that's one of the annual appropriations that we take care of in June after the budget is adopted. So we would include this in that appropriation at that time.
Okay. We do it once, we go through we go right through to town meeting and all that,
Yes,
but if it's in the budget, it's there already to spend.
right, but we're gonna move it from Department 224 to Department 724 and have it be part of that CNRE subsidy that we do every year. Yeah. You're not understanding what I'm saying.
No, but I do, but again, then you have to go and get the money out through an appropriation, right?
But we automatically do that in July,
Through various appropriations.
correct? Well, we do it as one and we itemize how
Okay.
all of the CNRE funds are gonna be used.
Okay,
And we would include this one.
all right. I think Chris had it in there because, and Chris is here, you could speak to it. I'll let you, it's kind of not exactly protocol, but you're here.
First
I think-
Selectman has that right.
Oh, good, then I'll exercise my right. Sorry. I think you're gonna spend at least $1,000
Yeah.
on various things, whether it's AEDs or.
Well, currently we have about 8 of them in town, and last year, right before celebrating Lyme, one died at the
Yeah.
PD, where we really need one in case anybody walked into the police department. So we really had to go run around and pull money together to buy one. Our search rating has kind of gone away, so we felt like $1,000 could be, they're going to start going bad now. So you got to have some kind of recourse to start replacing them. So we thought the $1,000 we had allocated for CERT, we could move over to AEDs.
So you wanna just leave it in
So
that
not
budget
like,
account?
we might use it, but chances are, well, we are gonna start a replacement program of spending $1,000 on AEDs every year. That's what I remember, so that's
we'll just
why I
leave
was
it
like,
there. Okay.
we should
Okay.
just leave it in there, so we can go get it and do it.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, last year it was like the day before
I know.
celebrating Slime, and we had to scramble and make quick phone
And it's
calls.
only $1,000.
So,
So, how are you?
good.
Why are you sticking around?
Just
He knew
listen.
this was coming up.
You must have something better to do. Is it for the?
I was just here
vision
to
committee
listen, that's
yeah,
all.
just no, we appreciate
So
it.
I'll tell you something after. I'll talk to you after real quick.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I prefer to leave it.
I have a question on the building department 104. I thought the $1,000 request for uniforms for 2 people were kind of high. I don't know if you buy long sleeve shirts, short sleeve shirts, jackets, how much you spend on a person. I think put $500 towards something that was needed with historic properties, and I just thought it was a lot for
Make up the
something.
$500.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make it up, but
No, but
I had this
no.
question when they had the presentation. I just think that's a lot for jackets and shirts for 2 people.
Fair enough.
I don't know what other departments spend, but it's a lot of money for 2 folks.
And they originally requested $2,000.
I'd support.
Well, don't they usually get a clothing allowance for boots and,
The
The-
building department had previously has not had one.
They're not, they're not union employees.
I see.
They're unaffiliated.
They're unaffiliated, so
So they want logo jackets, polo shirts, and ball caps.
And they're not asking for shoes, they're asking for
Right, you
clothing.
could do that for 500.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, move that to 500.
I like his initiative to try to professionalize the appearance though,
Fully agree.
and I
There's
think
a
and I agree
good
with
need
you.
for it.
500. I think he was trying to get a jump start, and then next year you wouldn't need the jackets, and because you need the winter one and the summer one, and the long sleeve, the short sleeve. But they'll make it do. They'll make it do with 500.
I did see the vehicle that said building department on it now too, so it
Yeah.
does that at that degree of professionalism
We're
rather
very
than
happy with that.
someone coming up in their own personal vehicle in today's world.
Anything else? Was there anything that stuck out to anybody? I know you worked on these. I mean, this wasn't one of those. I mean, again, it's pretty lean. It's lean every year. It's kind of cut and dry. Is there anything else? Yeah.
Just a question with your initial presentation.
Yeah.
It's not about our budget. But on the Board of Ed, you showed a 4.04 increase based on what they gave you at the time. Now it's at 3.18. And the difference really is their adopted budget is higher by about 400,000 compared to what you had on your sheet. I know we were at 0 last year, which was great. And I know that they were at their almost 2-something, 2.8 or whatever it was last year.
Yeah.
So there is a need to do some things that we weren't capable of doing last year, but theirs is lower than ours for the first time, a percentage increase for the first time in a long time.
Well, so actually, so
Yeah. Let's go over that.
So, okay, so when we first, in work, the way we did the budget is we did it based on the original adopted budget. The information, when the Board of Ed presented their budget, they did it based on the amended budget. And the amended budget had to do with the 500, I believe it was $598,000 appropriation that we did back in October related to health insurance. So as you recall, when we did our adopted 18-19 budget, we the state ended up giving us about $598,000 more in education cost sharing than we had in the budget. So the way we handled it is the budget went through without adding that 598,000.
we put it
And
back
then
in.
we put it back in, allocating a portion to the Board of Ed for health insurance and allocating a portion to the town for health insurance. So each of our budgets grew by that, if you will. So if you look at the town and the board's combined budgets, based on the adopted budget, it's a 3.94% increase. If you look at the proposed budget based on the amended budget, it's a 3.15% increase, with the board's budget increasing by 3.18% and the town's budget increasing by 2.46%.
2.46?
Correct.
So we're really at 2.46.
Yes, that's, appreciate the math on that one.
We, Anna, myself, Mr. Newton, and Mariana Stevens had many discussions on exactly that figure. And Anna and I just smiled at each other because you picked it up. We're not trying to hide anything, but there was a philosophical difference in do we use the amended or the adopted as the figure. And traditionally, we've always used
And-
the adopted.
Correct.
But there were so many changes last year to that amended that it did seem fair to the Board of Ed especially when they're looking at big numbers.
Well, in our discussions, the health insurance, at the end of the day, it was something that should have been in the budget, and we will always have the health insurance in the
Right.
budget. And so it made sense to consider, use the amended budget. So at that point, I said, okay, we need to look at the adopted, what the percents are, the amended, what the percents are, so that we can have
Yeah.
a discussion
Yeah.
and everybody can understand.
I'm not familiar with how we've historically done it, and I'm not trying to say which one is better than the
No,
other,
you picked it
but we
up.
should both
No, yeah, we
come
are.
off the same,
Exactly.
same starting point, so we have a relative comparison on our,
Of course.
And that's why
increases.
we did the calculations both ways.
Yeah, so you're looking at a budget book before we make any changes tonight of 2.46,
Yes.
correct? And a total overall budget, including debt service in the town, of 3.15 increase. And, being forwarded to the Board of Finance. Now, we have some of changes tonight. We made little count changes. I don't know if it'll change much.
It's you increased one account by $500.
Oh, yeah, we did, didn't
Increased
we?
another one.
Are there any other changes, or should I call for someone to?
And I'll need to get the dollar figures from Anna before we make a motion, so. Anna, what would be the overall amount?
Amount of the budget?
Yeah, because in the move to approve proposed budget.
Okay.
And the amount of, consisting of, then I break it down. Or do you want to go in,
Well, actually, I can give you those numbers because the two actions that you've taken made no change to the budget in the way
Okay.
that originally was.
okay, so go ahead.
Okay, so the total general government budget will be $18,678,733.
Yes. Okay,
Debt service, $5,599,145.
okay,
Capital, $841,728.
okay,
Board of Education, $49,497,250.
okay.
Total budget, $74,616,856.
Could you repeat the last figure?
Are
Of
you
the
working the
total
figures, Mark?
budget?
I figured you'd be adding all the figures.
So that would be
I didn't add 'em.
$74
Okay.
million.
The person
No,
I
could you
got.
just
They started
repeat
right,
the
I missed
bottom
one.
line?
That's what $74,616,856.
Thank you.
That's what I come up with, so the numbers you gave me, yeah. So I will move to approve the proposed 2019 to 2020 town budget in the amount of $74,616,856, consisting of the following and to forward to the Board of Finance for approval. General government, $18,678,733. Debt service, $5,599,145. Capital, $841,728. Board of Education, $49,497,250.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Second.
Motion and second. Further comment?
As this is a multi-department budget, I feel comfortable voting on this, even though an employee of the Board of Education, I do not stand to benefit any more than any other resident in the town from the passage of this budget.
It probably is appropriate, I don't think I've done it in years past, but it's appropriate that I say the same thing as technically an employee of the town in my position as first selectman. Any other comments on this budget? Thank you all for your hard work and good questions we had over the last couple of weeks. They're much appreciated and brought us some great points. So,
I'd like to
yes,
thank
sir.
you and your department heads for
Yeah.
putting together a budget that doesn't have little or no fat in it at all. And
yeah.
it's an amazing, the work that they do with what's provided financially.
Yeah,
This is a well-organized, cooperative town organization.
You hit the nail on the head when you say the department heads, because they do all this work, and they care. They care. They're looking for it everywhere they turn, looking for savings and efficiencies, and led by Anna, who does an amazing job with our budget and the day-to-day 365. So thank you, Anna, for all your hard work. All in favor on this budget, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Much thanks, folks. We're down to it a little bit. Next on our, good. We have an appointment of Kevin Mace back on to the Zoning Board of Appeals, is that right?
Public safety?
Public safety.
Fishing committee?
Oh, yeah.
We don't have any names. So could we hold that off until the next meeting?
They actually need to get going. Because there's an RFQ out already, and they're gonna have to actually make some actions. Well, let's talk about that, because I want you to feel comfortable. I've solicited from this board, from the Board of Finance and the Police Commission, 3 representatives. We've already decided Chief Finkelstein will be one of the members.
He requested.
Mr. Joe Barry, who sat on the original Vision Committee 14 years ago, had asked very early on in the process if he could come back on. He was a member of the Zoning Commission. He's, I think, a retired corrections officer.
Yes.
I'm very familiar with him.
And I think a Democrat, and then I found a Republican, William Cornelius, who also has not served on any other, is not serving on any other commission right now. He was in security systems for a career, was very interested and very involved in this process, and would round out the 12 people on the Vision Committee. We only have 2 people, those 2 coming from the public, and otherwise we're talking about people from those 3 commissions. Kevin Seary, Dan Cunningham, and Paul Daigle from this commission. Bill Weber, Ann Santoro, Lisa Picarazzi from the Board of Finance. And Dan Price, Mark Powers, and Tony Buglione from the Police Commission, and the other 3 that I mentioned. This would be a vision committee whose sole charge, and that needs to be on the record, as Sandy because we want to be very clear on that, and I'll show up to the first meeting to make sure they understand that their charge is to hire an architect from the RFQ, create with the architect, the scope of work that is going to be able to be afforded by the $2.2 million. And then broadly, what else might be needed in a further appropriation at a further time to complete the build-out of the building and services, and then hand the project off to the town building committee, who will then, the town building committee will then be responsible for hiring a contractor and seeing the building built to its conclusion. So at the time that they hand this off to the town building committee, the vision committee's work will be done and thus disbanded. I anticipate this work to be 3 or 4 months long. I'm hopeful for even shorter, but I think realistically, working with the architect and not wanting to rush the process, because we need to get our police back into a professional environment and utilize this building as wonderfully as possible. That we won't rush that, and that they'll have their work cut out for them. Okay?
Mark, just point of clarification.
Yes.
The vision committee will receive the build-out quotes, will pick the contractor, and then the building committee will execute that contract?
I believe the town building committee selects the contractor.
Okay,
So it's more of just scope of work, getting very, very intimately involved with what does this building look like, what is its need, what do we need to do, talking to experts.
No, I
We've put an
understood that. I just
RFQ.
didn't-
Yep.
just wanted to know who was gonna set the contract.
We have a RFQ on the street already, so you know, that we put out there to solicit people who would be qualified to help us.
What about any due diligence activities to go assess the building for hazardous materials or any of those things? Is that started yet?
Our engineering department's going
Gonna
through
do
that
that?
now
Okay.
with our legal department, with our legal lawyers, for our town attorneys, going through that in determining, and of course, we're doing a title search as we speak on that, that's due shortly, by contract. So we're gonna determine that the building is in solid shape and then hand it off to the vision committee to actually determine the scope of work and how to best proceed with the $2.225 million that has been allocated. Okay. So, again, the people on the committee, Kevin Siri, Dan Cunningham, Paul Daigle, Bill Weber, Ann Santoro, Lisa Picarazzi, Dan Price, Mark Powers, Tony Buglione, Chief Mike Finkelstein, William Cornelius, Joe Barry. All 12 of these members are citizens of our town, and I would.
I'll move
Look for that motion.
I'll move the approval of the names as submitted.
Second?
Any other comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained?
Abstain.
Abstain. Any other business on there? So we were clear on that, and then we'll, I've asked Dan Price to organize this and then pull the people together to start a regular meeting schedule. Appointment of Kevin Mace.
I'll move to appoint Kevin Mace, 25 Patagonia Drive, East Lyme, Connecticut, as a member of the Zoning Board of Appeals with a term to expire on January 6, 2020.
Second.
Any comment?
I'll just add, I've known Kevin Mace for many, many years. He's was an excellent, he was an alternate on the board. For 4 years, and this is for a full board position.
We're not
That'd be
sure
good.
if he just, if he expired.
It expired.
It expired.
It
We
expired,
didn't
and
re-up
we didn't.
Yeah, we missed it.
That seat's been empty.
Okay, so.
Yeah, there are other vacancies on that board that we're going to need to fill.
Yep.
This is just one.
Yeah, they're in desperate need now
They're in
with,
desperate need.
with Steve Carpenteri being sidelined a little bit, so.
Right.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? MM, as added earlier.
Okay, move to appoint Linda Fectow, 18 Oakwood Road, Niantic, Connecticut, as a member of the Youth Services Commission with a term to expire January 6, 2020.
Second.
This has been vacant for a few months. Linda obviously has a great background. She was, when Youth Services was a separate agency in town, she was the director of that for several years before moving on and did a great job.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? We gotta schedule a town meeting, I guess, huh?
Yes.
This would be for tonight, all of tonight's activity.
Right.
And we're gonna go ahead and do that because we think some of this is cut and dry. The Board of Finance might change the call of the meeting, but
Okay.
we're gonna go forward with it.
Notice is hereby given of a special town meeting of the town of East Lyme to be held on March 20, 2019 at 7 p.m. at the East Lyme Town Hall Upper Meeting Room for the following purposes. 1, to approve a special appropriation in the amount of up to $81,851.46 from the remaining balance of the 2016-17 Vehicle Acquisition Program to purchase a 2019 Ford Escape from Columbia Ford for the Engineering Department and a 2019 Ford F-250 Super Cab for the Highway Department. 2, to approve a special appropriation in the amount of up to $68,500 to purchase a John Deere model skid steer from W.I. Clark for the following, from the following accounts. $60,477.86 from the remaining balance of the 2016-17 Streetlight Acquisition Program. 2, $8,022.14 from CNRE account 32-60-120-100-002. Proceeds from the sale of vehicles. 3, to transact any other business proper to come before the meeting. Dated East Lyme, Connecticut, the 6th day of March, 2019. East Lyme Board of Selectmen.
Second.
That wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Any comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? We'll get into those things we do at the end of the meeting, the ex officio reports.
I suggest we waive ex officio.
Yeah, it's
for
been
this
a long
evening.
night.
I couldn't agree more. I'll waive my first selectmen's report as well, so public comment. Anyone? Okay. Selectmen's responsible, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you all for tuning in and paying attention.